Mr Speaker, I'd ask the Prime Minister to table the document in which he quoted himself.
The member for Petrie. Member for Petrie has the call. Yes, member for Petrie has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Members on my left and right, the member for Petrie has the call. The Leader of the House and the member for McMahon. The member for Petrie has the call.
Well, thank you very much, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. There are many businesses in my electorate and in the region that employ many people. And would the Treasurer please explain to the House how the government took to the last election a policy to cut company tax rates for small and medium businesses, and extending the instant asset tax write-off will ensure there's more well-paid jobs in Petrie and right around Australia?
The Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Petrie for his question, because like so many other people on this side of the House who have run a small business, the member for Petrie has run a small business, and he has employed people, Mr Speaker, and given them jobs off the back of his investment and his wife's investment, working together in a small family business, making sure that they can give a job to young Australians living in Queensland in their pest control business. And I want to thank the member for Petrie for the contribution that him and his wife and his family has made in running that business, along with the hundreds of thousands of other small businesses around the country, which this government recognised in the budget, which this government recognised some 100,000 of them who would be able to benefit from lifting the small business threshold from $2 million to $10 million to give them access to a 27.5% tax rate, access to the instant asset write-off, the depreciation pool provision and a range of other measures which ensure those small businesses can support the employees that work for them and ensure that they can give them more hours and they can make more investments. Now, those opposite, they jeer and sneer at the member for Petrie, as they did when he asked his question, and he knows more about employing people than any of the other union hacks on that side do, Mr Speaker. The member for Petrie, he knows about employing people. Those opposite just recognise the rights of union bosses and union thugs and bikies, Mr Speaker, who do their dirty work, turning up to the Immigration Minister's office, standing there with their signs. But what we're doing is we're going to represent those small businesses who want to give Australians a job, Mr Speaker. Now, the member for Fenner says, certainly you want to be looking around the world for your company tax rate. That's what the member for Fenner says, and the Shadow Treasurer has said on any number of occasions that our company tax rate needs to be competitive. Now, the United States will be going to 15, the United Kingdom is going to 17, Malaysia's at 24, Korea's at 24.2, New Zealand's at 28, Mr Speaker. Maybe they're looking to France, where it's 33%, or Italy, where it's 31.3, Mr Speaker. They seem to know how much foreign workers pay tax in New Zealand, Mr Speaker, but they don't know what small business pay in New Zealand. They don't want to assure that there is a competitive tax rate for small businesses in this country, but they want to make sure that there is a lower rate of tax for foreign workers. So, Mr Speaker, we are pursuing these reforms despite the opposition of those opposite, despite the fact, Mr Speaker, that those opposite think small businesses should pay higher rates of tax, that they should be frustrated in their efforts to continue to provide jobs for Australians. And as they demonstrated, when the small businessman, the member for Petrie, asked the question, they jeered and they sneered because they just don't get small business.
The Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. After 23 questions and answers, I ask that further questions be placed on the notice paper.
I thank the Prime Minister.